So what you can do then, you will be told that work harder to get more income, hopefully can make this work. But the question is that when you work harder and you get more saving, will this extra income be channeled into the retirement fund, or it is just used to fund higher lifestyle costs? So conclusion is that the more money won't actually solve the problem if the money is not being managed properly. So we need to know is that we need to have a blueprint on if there is extra income, where are we going to put this money to? If the money is not being planned, it means that it has no purpose of what this extra money is for. It will just be spent away. So it's so dangerous to have cash and not being allocated. My name is Eva Wong. I'm actually a wealth coach from Eva Coffee Solution. This is my sole proprietor. And I'm also a licensed financial planner attached to CC Advisory. So these are my Facebook and also Telegram. I'm issuing every week one video on YouTube and also one newsletter on my Telegram channel. So if you like to receive some free newsletter regarding personal finance, you can also feel free to join my Telegram group to receive the free newsletter. And my Facebook, I'll be sharing my YouTube video once a week on personal finance as well. So I was a quantity surveyor for 11 years. So I was not from this financial line before. And I changed my career path since about 3 to 4 years back when I quit my full-time job in construction industry. So I became a certified financial planner in 2019. And you can see the picture here is a picture that I won the award, 2 excellent awards given by the Financial Planning Association Malaysia. Also, since last year, nothing much to do. So I co-author with another of my colleagues this book called Money Guide for Individuals and Company. And this book mainly is on how to leverage to fast track the growth of individual wealth. So this book now is available in popular Kinokuniya and MPH bookstores as well. So I got my HRDF certified trainer status, so I can also run financial workshop. And I have few financial workshop running concurrently now during MCO time. And on the qualification side, I'm a CMSRL holder, so I'm a Capital Market Services Representative license issued by Security Commission. So this license here actually enable myself to charge fee for the planning advice and able to market more than one company investment products like Maybank, CIMB, Manulife, Affin Hwang Kenanga. So you can see my license here. So I'm attached with CC Advisory as my company. And I can say myself is specialized in financial planning, retirement planning, and investment planning. So in case you have any question, you can also feel free to just contact me. I can answer your question through WhatsApp as well. So these are some of my products and also services. Service advisory, we provide advisory service for financial and retirement planning through this license, CMSRL. And also, I have this FIMM license together with CMSRL to promote a few investment products, comprehensive investment product in various currency as well, MYR, USD, Singapore dollar, and Australia dollar. So these are my principal and investment product partners. And apart from that, I also run various financial training and workshops. So my topic today is on 5 secrets of wealth acceleration. A question back to you is, are you actually certain that you have the adequate wealth to retire? Sharing you some of the statistics. This was a statistic end of last year given by World Bank. World Bank data actually shows most Malaysians not having saving enough for pension. How many of us are not having enough saving for pension? We have more than 3/4. We have less than 1,000 monthly benefit at the age of 54. So can you imagine that? How can you survive with 1,000 when you are age 54? This more than 75% of us, 3/4. So that is actually a shocking statistic, but it is real. It shows that financial literacy is not really too high in Malaysia. That's why I need to continue giving more talk on this. Hopefully can raise more financial literacy. So this sharing is for people that is dependent on single source of income or investing currently, but not too sure whether is on the right track to timely retirement, because retirement now seems to be a very big goal for most of the Malaysians, and for people who wish to understand how to grow their wealth better. And I have a lot of clients having this kind of feeling. They feel clueless about financial planning and they're not sure what is the purpose of doing this financial planning. And they are feeling their wealth not going anywhere despite they have some kind of saving. And they are wonder why, whether if they keep on working like this, right, whether their active income can actually help them to retire on time. So these are some of the feeling and also problem that many of my clients are facing. So if you're one of them, then maybe this sharing will benefit you a lot. I really hope that this sharing will help you. So if you want to travel fast and far, right, which vehicle will you actually use? Give me some answer. Are you going to travel far with that blue little car, or you want to travel with that black car? I think logically you will select the black car, right? And if you are further travel away, like overseas, right? Like what Natalie has said, you want to travel in a jet plane. We can never be satisfied traveling in a car. We need to go for something that is much more better, right? So I'll be using this analogy since you all know that traveling in a plane is the right vehicle to go. So my secret of wealth acceleration is on flying a plane here. So we are going to take off now. So I hope that you enjoy this sharing. So I'll just keep on this speed here. So if you're able to grow your wealth faster, right, you will be able to retire on time and retire early. That will be the main benefit. And second benefit is that you will have more money to achieve your dream, like what Natalie said, that to buy jet plane, right, to travel using a jet plane, and maybe Sean said a Ferrari, right? Yeah, so you have more money to achieve your dream, buying a car and house. And thirdly, which is the most important thing, because there are three main things that are very important in our life. One is money, second one is our health, and third one is our relationship. We want to have more time with our relationship. Sometimes we just keep working and we have very less time with our family and spouse. So when having sufficient money, we'll be able to have more time as we are able to engage other professionals to help us to do some work that we are not really like to do. So, and then we will have more time to work on something that we are really passionate with. So this is power of growing the wealth faster. So I will be sharing some of the investment thing as well. So just to mention that I do not take any responsibility for any reliance on the presentation. So if you want to invest, you still need to do your own research. Okay, now we come to the secret number one of wealth acceleration. So we are about to take off now. So the first secret is actually having the good mindset, because I always believe that life is only as good as your mindset. So I'm going to share with you some of the quote. How you see the world and yourself can be a big part of what shapes our destiny. So, and also our mindset has everything to do with who we are and what we will achieve and really who we want to become in the future. Because if our mindset is not good, if we keep thinking that we are not good enough to manage our finances better, then it is hard for us to change. So I just inform you, share with you one of my story. I was actually a very poor student. When I was in the secondary school, right, my grade is like C and D. I'm not A, B students. I was a C and D students, but I thought that I can just go on like that because it's hard for me to memorize the textbook, and BM and BI for me is just too hard. I can speak Chinese, but BM and BI for me is really too hard. And my parents actually couldn't let me to score C and D. They will come back and scold me, saying that how come you score so bad? I still remember at one time I scored 68 marks for my mathematics, and I came back being scolded by my dad so poorly. He said, how can you, as a Chinese, how can your mathematics be so poor? So, and I forced myself to think that I can actually be better. So I start to burn the midnight oil. And that's the result that I got actually in 2005. And this result was not actually instant. And I was changing my grades from C to B to A slowly. Even I was not a full A student in UPSR. I scored only 2B in my Malay because that was my poor subject. I can't really understand what Malay is. So in 2005, I became the best student given by the Institute of Surveyor Malaysia. So because I was able to change my mindset. Similarly, I thought that my academic can change my destiny as well. But straight after I graduated, that's my first goal because I need to travel to my office. So I'm thinking to buy a car. I couldn't actually afford a car when I calculate my salary, you know. So I was so sad. And luckily, my mother and my father was kind enough to send me to work every day. And that time I had a boyfriend, so he was the one who's responsible sending me to the office. So I feel so sad that why couldn't I able to manage to afford a car? That was my story. So I tell myself again, I must be managing my finance very well so that I can achieve something in the future. And so I start to be very frugal. And just for information, when I first started to work, actually I take bus. I didn't take even taxi. I take bus because it's cheap enough. So I started to save money. And this is what the result. I started to accumulate more properties, and very gratefully, now I have some certain, I'm not very rich, but I still have some properties in hand and also paper asset that help me not struggling financially. So talking about mindset, there are two types of mindset. Either it's growth mindset or fixed mindset. So now I give you a little bit of exercise time to identify whether you are in a growth mindset or fixed mindset. So there are 7 questions here. So let's say, for example, the first question, can I learn something? If your answer is more towards, I can learn anything that I want, then give yourself 1 point. If let's say your answer is more towards, I'm either good at it or I'm poor at it, so then you minus 1 point. So I give you about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to do this exercise, and you can share with us what's your point. So if you're having positive points, it means that you are more towards a growth mindset. 9 are not either or. Okay, so you need to decide which way. Maybe it's in the middle, so you get to 5, maybe something like that. So if you're having more growth mindset, it means that you are willing to change yourself in order to suit new result. So a fixed mindset, never mind, even you get the negative, there's no problem, because the good thing is that you're aware now and you can start changing it. Okay. So nothing can actually stop a man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal, and nothing on earth can help a man with the wrong mental attitude. As going back to the example just now, if the client doesn't want to win the case itself, you can't actually help him, regardless whether how professional you are. So the thing is on the client's hand, whether they want to win the case or not. So I always like this quote from Albert Einstein, that the definition of insanity is actually doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So if you are thinking that your personal finance is not really good now, so there must be something that you have done wrong. So the key is that you need to change something. You need to change so that you see different results. If you hope that doing something over and over again, but you are expecting something different to happen, that is called insanity. But if you are having a very good personal finance now, so keep doing the same thing, you bring you to a better level. So I hope now I welcome you to have a new mindset so that you can have new results. So regardless whether where you are now, whether you are going very well with your wealth or you are being stagnant, is fine. But as long as you are now aware what needs to be changed or what needs to be continued. So with this, I finished my secret number 1. I hope you like my secret number 1. So secret number 2, now we have already taken off. So you must be deciding yourself that you want to win in order to take off. Okay, now we are going. I like secret number 1. Thank you very much. Okay, so secret number 2 is, in order to grow our wealth better, we need to keep investing. We can't just save. Okay, most Malaysian, they tell me investing is very risky. Personally, I feel that if you are not investing, it's riskier than investing. So let me show you some of the facts here. The normal concept Malaysian got it wrong is the concept between the inflation and the investment. Okay, what I have often heard people saying that inflation, no big deal. They just ignore the inflation, because what they think is that every year I got my salary increment. If I get my salary increment, I think I can cope with it. That's what the general mindset of Malaysian. And when talking about investment, this is what are the objection I got. Wait, I got a lot of bill to pay first. Let me finish the bill. Then wait, let me have money first. Then I start to invest. And the second one is that they always tell me that investing is too risky. Okay, so let me let me share with you some of my thought about these comments here. Inflation, no big deal, okay? These are what most people say. Inflation is actually killing the saving, okay? If all of you are more than 20s, right? So you can relate to me lah. I'm not sure whether you remember 5 ringgit last time, right? You can purchase nasi lemak with the chicken and you got ikan bilis and a telur there, okay? But 5 ringgit now, right? You can't even buy a tea life. You can only buy a tea life at the promotion price. And I suspect in the coming 10 years, you can only get a fried egg. This is how it is. That's the fact. And if we keep doing nothing with our money now, you can see that our purchasing power is reducing. So we must keep up with the inflation. And these are the published 5 ringgit. Yes, correct. Yeah, that's right. That's why I say it's promotion. I got this promotion last year where they give 5 ringgit for a cup. Currently, if you are purchasing tea life always, right, it is about 6.90. That's a basic tea life. You can't even get it at 5 ringgit now. Okay, so this is the published inflation rate for Malaysia from 1986, and they project the inflation rate forward. Generally, if you look at the statistic, right, it is about roughly about 3-4% inflation rate, and there are 2 times where it hit more than 5%. And what shocked me was the inflation rate was negative last year. I'm not sure whether you feel it, but definitely for me, I don't think it's negative because after COVID-19, everything gets more expensive. What do you think? Yes, correct. So what is this published inflation rate is reflecting? Perhaps it's more from the national level where maybe some of their national businesses are reducing. That's why they got a negative figure. So this is on the national level that we can't really rely on. Okay, so can our salary cope with it? Let me share with you. I like this roti canai. I always eat roti canai. Okay, I still remember back in 2011, I bought this at 60 cents. And now I couldn't find it at 60 cents anymore. I bought it at 1 ringgit 20 cents. So can you see the prices here are actually doubling every 10 years? Okay, what does that mean? You need to know exact figure. What is the impact of this? If the things are doubling every 10 years, in calculation, the inflation is actually 7%. So 7% is the retail inflation rate. We cannot use the published inflation rate because we are purchasing more on the food, transport, right? That's what are affecting our life. So if the inflation rate is 7%, a question to you is that, do you think the income is increasing at least 7% every year? We can only cope with inflation if our income can reach 7% every year. So the second question, even if our income is increasing 7% every year, are we able to work forever? And the third one, are we putting our money at a place with more than 7% return? So most people will say no lah, right? So about investment, right? People will say, wait until I have money first, okay? So some people will understand the power of compounding interest, some people don't. So I just want to share with you one example, very simple example here. There are 2 persons, Ali and Anand. So Ali invested 200 ringgit per month, and he started investing at the age of 26. And he finished up after 10 years. In total, he has invested 24,000. Okay, Anand is the one that feel that he cannot afford to invest currently, so he want to wait until the salary has been increased, so he start to double up the investment amount. And in fact, he's also an action taker, and he did what he said, and he started investing 10 years after, and he's doubling the amount to 400 compared to Ali. So he invested for 10 years, assuming it's the same vehicle. But unfortunately, when both are at the age of 55, you can see Ali actually have 171,000, but Anand, who is investing more than double of Ali, his net worth is only 159,000. You can see the difference is 12,636. This is what we call opportunity cost. Okay, this is what we call opportunity cost. It is the opportunity cost of early start versus a late start. And this is the power of compounding interest. If we believe in investment and we start early, it doesn't matter whether it is affordable or not, as long as we start. So to sum up this, just to share with you, our current level is this level. And we know that the inflation force is there. It will definitely decrease our purchasing power. And investment is the only tool that can increase our wealth, unless you are able to increase your income very fast, else it will be hard. And these are the little voice that we have. It's okay, I can earn more money. It's okay, my salary earning is now more than my peers. And let's work hard together. Hopefully we can go against the inflation force. And about investment, right? People always say that no money, I want to buy the car first. I mean, investment can wait, but I really need a car. And people always say that my friend got another bigger deal, better deal. Wait, never mind, I will go for the other deal. And the last comments will be, it's too risky. Is there anything that has guaranteed return? If the person is looking for guaranteed return, they will always, sorry, give me some, can't see it. Okay, so it's too risky with product with guaranteed return. If you're waiting for products with guaranteed return, most likely you will postpone the investment decision. So these are all the environment and your influence and your inner voice. And at the end, you won't actually do any investment. So the end result is that inflation rate is a definite risk. And at the end, your net worth actually will reduce. It's like playing a football. We know that in playing a football, we want to win the game. So you also know that we must attack to win the game. If you only defend, there's no way that we can win the game. Similarly here, we know that there is inflation force there. So in order to do better, we need to attack. And retirement is like a football game. You must attack to win. Defending won't help. So investing is the key to grow the wealth. Okay, so the next secret here, I finished my secret number 2. So now let's move on to secret number 3. So we are halfway. Secret number 3 is to be selective on what you invest. We need to use the right tool. We can't expect to use this to screw this, right? So always we need to use the right tool. Even you are investing, you need to ensure that you are investing on the right thing. So I copied this from the richest investor in the world. I'm sure all of you know him. His name is Warren Buffett. Let's listen to his 1-minute video.
We will always have enough cash around, but anytime we have surplus cash around, I'm unhappy. I mean, I would much rather have good businesses than cash. And
the third category of asset is something that you value based on its what it will produce, what it will deliver. You buy a farm because you expect a certain amount of corn or soybeans or cotton or whatever it may be to come your way every year. And you decide how much you pay based on how much you think the asset itself will deliver over time. And those are the assets that appeal to me and Charlie. Now, there's some logical follow-on to that. If you buy that farm and you really think about how many bushels of corn, how many bushels of soybeans will it produce, how much do I have to pay the tenant farmer, how much do I have to pay in taxes, and so on.
Okay, we have finished the video here. So basically what this video show you is that he also agreed in secret number 2 that cash is not a good investment. So we cannot just say we must invest. But the second secret, what he's going to tell is invest in productive asset. He mentioned that you must invest in something that can give you income. Okay, this is what he means by productive asset. So I'll explain a little bit further on this. So productive asset is something that can give you income every year. So let's do some analysis on what are our productive assets. So some of you will have business and job. Okay, these are the productive assets. But if you think deeply, right, it is not the business that's giving you the income. It's you, your team, or your system that is giving you the income every year. And about the job, right? The assets that we are having is actually you. You are the one that is giving your income every year. But to be honest, we can only work so long, okay? So we need to remove the you away. So the remaining, if you are building a business, you need to have your team and the system. If you don't build your team and the system, and it is not really considered a productive asset, we are looking for something that is passive. Okay, so the key here is passive. So I want to share with you another diagram that Robert Kiyosaki, this guy here is Robert Kiyosaki. I just steal his concept here to share with you. So he mentioned that there are 4 ways to earn income. The first one is active, where you trade your time for money. Okay, the second category is self-employed, where it's something like me. I work, I get my active income. If I don't work, I don't get my active income. So, but I got a flexibility in working and my working time. And the third category is more passive, where you have successfully created your people and also the system. Then you can enjoy the passive income even that you are sleeping at home. Okay, so this is what we call passive. And lastly is the investor. Everyone can be an investor because it is the easiest one, I feel. Despite the fact you are employee or self-employed, you can still be an investor, because in that case, we are leveraging on other successful businesses, because the key to earn great money is the business. But we might not have the time, also effort to create the system or the team that we want to create the income that we want. So what is the easiest way to do that? Is to leverage on other successful businesses then. So these are some of the examples. You can see McDonald's, in 30 years time, it has 29 times. So the yield, if you use the calculator, you'll be able to get this. You are getting about 12% per year by investing in McDonald's. How about Facebook? It 4.5 times in 7 years. So the yield was about 24% per year. And in fact, now the price is no longer 258. Now the price is 330. Okay, these are some of the old slides that I shared. Nike, it has 26 times in the past 20 years, and the yield was 18% per year. So Sean, your question about 7%, actually not really that hard. You just need to invest in the correct assets. So PayPal has 2.7 times in 3 years, and now it's 40%. And all these prices was in November. Actually, I screenshot it in November. So they are still old price, it's not the updated price. And if you are not having time, right, to actually actively go and select the stocks, there are also a lot of choices that you can go to by leveraging on the professional investors and professional fund manager. This is a chart that I get from the platform on our investment partner. And you can see we have 697 funds here. Okay, and you can see I just checked the past 10 years yield. This is the annualized performance, and all the top performance one are having double-digit return. Okay, so is there any more sophisticated investor tool? I mean, if you want to become average investor, then you just invest in what most people investing in. Maybe it's a fund, or if you don't have time and you want to focus on your business or your job, it's fine. I mean, they are just want to share with you for sharing purposes. They are actually more sophisticated investor tools where we call you can make money when the market is moving uptrend, downtrend, or even sideways. So these are called option trading. So these are for people that really have time to venture into this. And these are some of the methods where the sophisticated investors do. So when the market is, these two can actually help to reduce investment risk. In what way? For example, just now I shared with you that if you're investing into a good company, you can grow your wealth in the long term, right? But let's say now you have found a very good company and the fair price is $50, but the current stock price is 65. So you can't do anything, because as we know that it is too expensive, right? Of course, we want to buy it at $50. So what we do, there are two choices. One, we wait until the stock price drops to 50. The other way, we enter into the option. Okay, so what will be the capital required? Both of them, there's no capital required, because you only buy when the stock drops to 50. But what is magical here is that if we are just waiting for the stock drop to 50, there will be no income while waiting. But if you're doing something more sophisticated, you will receive regular income while waiting the stock price to drop. And what if the stock price does not drop to 50? In both cases, you won't own the stock, okay? Because the promise is to buy at 50. If it doesn't drop, there's no way you can own the stock, okay? But in this case here, you still receive regular income until the promise ends, okay? And lastly, what if the stock price dropped to 50? Of course, you promise to buy at 50. And for this guy here, they may not take action because when the price is dropping, they may be scared. So that's why it is easier said than done. When really the price drop to the fair price, will that person go and buy this stock? Most of the time, 50% of them are not doing anything. So, but in this, since we are using a systematic approach, we are bound to buy it at 50. But we don't need to actually refund all the income that we receive. So through this option trading, it helps us to protect us from buying expensive stock, and yet we can have monthly income. While waiting, it gives us a regular income around 0.5% to 4% a month. Okay, the other way is the leverage investment. Okay, property value is 500,000. You know that we do not need to pay in full. We just need to pay 10% normally, or maybe lower than that. We are borrowing 90% of the loan from the bank. After 3 years, let's say the property will increase to 600,000. It's a 20% gain from 500,000. But in actual fact, the gain is much more than that. If we decide to sell the house, the gain is 100,000, 600,000 minus 500,000. So the gain is 100,000. But in terms of the percentage, right? The percentage is no longer 20%, it's 100% because we only put down 10% down payment. So we can multiply the return of our gain through leverage investment. This is what we call leverage investment. Same with the option. It is also leverage. So how about the risk of the property if we make the wrong decision? In most of the cases, if it's under construction, right, if the developer cannot complete the project on time, the loss is more than the capital. So let's say we put down 50,000, but if the property cannot be completed, we are actually losing 500,000. We still need to pay back the loan, regardless whether we get the house or not. So in terms of the percentage, it's 1,000% loss against our initial capital put in. Of course, I know you may be asking legal fees, right? Because you all are collecting, right? But for the simplicity sake, I exclude the legal fees, stamp duties, and etc. An option has the similar effect. It has leveraging effect. However, it is done at a fixed risk with limited capital. So this is how we do option. A good company with a fair price of 200 and current price is 200. So you have only 2,000. What you can do, you can either buy the 10 shares, 10 times 200 is 2,000, right? Or you use option to have a leverage. So capital required, if you buy the 10 share, you need 2,000. And here we only put down some deposit to have more right on the shares and more shares. What if the stock price increases 10%? In normal circumstances, you get 10%. But here, because it's a leveraging tool, so you get more than that. So most people will ask, what if the stock delisted? Well, what is the risk then? In here, of course, you lose 2,000. In here, the good thing about option here is we kept the risk, and the maximum loss is also the capital that you put in and not more than that, not like the property. So these tools here help you to increase return with fixed risk with limited capital, and the return is exponential because it has the leverage effect. So by now you might be wondering whether this is legal or not, right? So a lot of people ask me, wait, like this, like Along, I don't know whether it's legal or not. Yes, it is legal and it is on the stock market. And this is how Warren Buffett uses to increase his investment yield as well. So he's using it in a big way where you can find this word in the financial statement of his company called Berkshire Hathaway. And to summarize secret number 3, right? It is like this as well, this picture here. If you want to win the case, you must use the right tool. Imagine you are just attacking, but you are attacking with the wrong clause or the case law or the act. Will you win the case or not? So definitely you can't. So identifying the right tool is also very critical to your success. So I finished secret number 3. Okay, so we come to secret number 4 now. is the risk management. And you do know that investment comes with risk. So we must properly manage the risk also. So risk is like fire. And if it's uncontrolled, it will help you. If it's controlled, it will help you. If it's uncontrolled, it will rise up and destroy you. Okay, so there are many financial instruments that I share with you regarding the investment. It comes from the low risk from here, from government bond, debts, money market, bank account, notes, etc., right, to the middle risk, like your real estate, your mutual fund, large cap stocks, whatsoever, to the highest risk, like option that I shared with you just now. They are having a lot of risk. But how are we going to cope with this is on how are we going to divide our money across different assets. So these are the various assets that we have, like equities, property, commodity, bonds, and cash. So we need to have the overview on how we are going to divide our assets. We are not just putting all our money into the same basket. So it is very crucial. This is how we do our risk management in order to manage our risk. So I give you an analogy on a football game. Since that, you know, attacking is the way to win the game anyway, right? Like in the legal case as well, you need to attack. You can't just defend unless you are defendant. Okay, so to win the football game, there are also a lot of strategies, and this is how they place it. Even they have 11 players, they can't put everybody to attack. They must have some defensive strategies as well. So this is how they do. They have a striker, right? The strikers in financial terms is like our equities and option. It helps us to attack to get more return in order to achieve our investment goal. And of course, we have our midfielder, where it's like our mixed asset and property to help us to protect us. And at the right time, it can help us to attack as well, as long as we can cope with inflation. And we have our defenders. In case the other party attack us, what we can do, we need to have our bonds and insurances to be our defender. But if we are having too much of defender or too much on mixed asset, we won't have anybody to help us to attack. Then will we win the game? The answer is no. And lastly, we still need to have the goalkeeper. Okay, the goalkeeper is our cash and saving to cater our any emergency usage. So to conclude secret number 4, risks come from not knowing what we are doing. So we do not put all our egg into one basket. So my advice is that if you do not know what you are doing, then you need to acquire the required knowledge or the skills, or get a professional to help you. And do not put all eggs into one basket. Is that what I share with you? You need to start to have a portfolio management. And now we are flying on a plane. So if you want to fly safe and fly far, we actually need to learn how to drive the plane. But if you do not have time to drive the plane, of course, you need to board a plane flown by professional. And most importantly, professionals still cannot guard all your risks. You still need to put on your own seatbelt by practicing the portfolio management. So by that, I finished my secret number 4. Now I go to secret number 5, which is the last secret. And in order to maintain the height in the sky, it is really not easy. So how can we help ourselves to maintain our height there? So this is the last secret. We need to have a good planning with goals, because failing to plan is planning to fail. And an idiot with a plan beats the genius without plan. This is what Warren Buffett said, the richest investor in the world. We can be idiot as long as we have plans. We can actually beat all the genius out there without any planning. And a good plan is like the roadmap. It shows the final destination and usually the best way to get there. If I'm too fast, right, you just prompt me, ask me to slow down. Okay, these are some of the articles that I extracted from the newspaper. As you can see, it was quite recent as well, August 2020. And 53% of Malaysians are ill-prepared for financial setback. They are just one personal disaster away from being plunged into the circle of poverty. Why does it happen? And there's another research done by Ringgit Plus Malaysia mentioning that 21% of Malaysians did not save money at all. And you can see that 12%, almost 12% of them did not save and admitted they spent a lot on the lifestyle, including shopping and entertainment. Why is that happening? It's because the financial literacy and they do not do any financial planning. So that's the importance of the financial planning. It is just like a roadmap there. I'm sure that all of you are using these ways, right? So you know how to use it. There are two major information that you need to key in order to get the roadmap. So if you don't mind, maybe feel free to text what are the two information that you need to key into the ways in order to get the roadmap. If we are not yet correct the location as well, we need to put in our destination and our current location. These are the very crucial information. We all know this, but we didn't practice in our financial planning. So with this map, it's like a blueprint. We will have the strategy and the tactics, and the apps will show you how you can skip all the traffic jam, and they will show you, yeah, the roadblock and the emergency, because they are identifying the strategy for you, provided you give them your current location and also the goal. Otherwise, the things will come out. So similar to the wealth creation, if you are having a planning, I'm not saying that you will go straight to your destination, because it's never possible because of environment. As I've shared with you, more than 50% of the Malaysians are not able to retire. So we have a lot of bad noises surrounding us and deviating us and distracting us to achieve our goal in a straight line. So normally when we have planning, right, we will still deviate. We are not going straight line, right? There will still be obstruction there. But anyway, it will still go towards the result that we want. But if we are not having any planning, it means that we don't know where we are, we don't know where we want to go. It's like entering into the maze. You will have no direction sense at all. Either you go left, go right, go north, or go south. So at the end, whether you can get out from the maze, it really depends on the luck. So this is the importance of having a plan. So just share with you one of the calculation here. Imagine one with age 40, start with 5,000 per month expenses. And I use just the published inflation rate that I showed you just now for 20 years. Can you guess how much is the expenses after 20 years, assuming the inflation is 3%? Okay, so the answer using financial calculator is actually 9,100. 9,100 per month. So, okay, can you see almost double with 3% after 20 years? So how are we going to calculate? If I freeze inflation from that point onwards, so means that after age 60, I'm going to retire and I'm not going to work anymore. So I'm going to freeze the inflation as well for the simplicity's sake. So 9,100, I'm going to live until 75. This is the expected life expectancy for Malaysian. 9,001 times 12 months times 15 years, I actually need 1.6 million before I outlive my retirement saving. So now we work backwards. If we know that our target is 1.6 million, can you calculate how much you need to save per month from age 40 to age 60? So if you use your calculator to calculate, you will realize that the monthly saving required for these 20 years while you're working is actually 6,825. Not sure whether you see this. The expenses was only 5,000 and now you need to 6,825. I mean, is it possible? If your expenses is more than 5,000, 10,000, then this amount also will increase double. So what you can do then? You will be told that work harder to get more income, hopefully can make this work. But the question is that when you work harder and you get more saving, will this extra income be channeled into the retirement fund, or it is just used to fund higher lifestyle costs? So the conclusion is that the more money won't actually solve the problem if the money is not being managed properly. So we need to know is that we need to have a blueprint on if there is extra income, where are we going to put this money to? If the money is not being planned, it means that it has no purpose of what this extra money is for. It will just be spent away. So it's so dangerous to have cash and not being allocated. So these are the common things that I got from a business books, and you can see that in business, we always have a mission for the company, and then we set goals, and we will tell what is the desired outcome. Let's say this year we want to make 1 million or 2 million sales, whatever. So we have this, and then only we will identify what are the strategies, which client we need to approach, right? And then we'll come back with measures and target. Are we hitting our target? No. Then what we should do? These are the cycle that for normal things that we do, even though like your studies, your business, your job, these are the things that we are doing daily, but we are not applying to our personal finance. In personal finance, if you don't have goal, how are you going to have the desired outcome? If you don't have the desired outcome, how can you map out the strategies? So in terms of after we are having the goal, right? Just now I've calculated 1.6 million. Now we know the desired outcome. So now we need to decide what are the strategies to be used. So we will decide how much money we need to save per month, and we will decide what type of wealth vehicle that we can use. So let's use 1.6 million at the benchmark. So you know it's 1.6 million, and you know that if you save the money in the bank, you won't reach your goal because you are not unlikely to save more than 5,000, as your expenses is only 5,000. So then next, if 1.6, you can't also save your money into the fixed deposit because you can't reach the goal. Then you go to bond, also cannot. Then 6% also cannot unless you save more. And 8%, yes, this is the way you need to go. You need to save 5,000 a month at 8%, then you will reach your 1.6 million goal. If you have lesser saving than that, then you can move another row above 4,000. With 4,000 saving a month at 10%, you'll be able to reach the goal too. If you are going more aggressive, then of course 3,000 plus a month, you can reach your goal if you invest in a vehicle that's 12%. So that's how we do the planning. So vehicle we should use and how much we can save. And we can actually improve our saving through having more things or maybe salary increment. There are a lot of active ways where we can get more income. So secret number 5 is more about planning. It's like playing a football game. You know your goal is to win, right? And you start with 0 point and you want to win it. At least you need to score 1 point, provided the other party don't score anything. So you need to map out your strategy, having your defending strategies and also your attacking strategies by playing the correct player on the correct spot. Same to your legal victory. If you want to win a case, you also need to get all the information from your clients. You need to get all the client information to understand the case even better. If the client is not willing to tell you anything, there's nothing much you can do as well. Okay, so legal victory is easy. You know you need to win the case. You get all the information and facts, then you will be able to map out your strategies. If there's no gap between, it's hard for you to map out any strategies. So this is the importance of having the planning. Okay, so now let me share with you one of the case study for our fee-based advisory service, where our end goal is to produce a report that help people to plan well for their finances. Our report will assess their current financial situation and will help them to map out their financial goal, and then we'll help them to develop the strategies required to reach the goal. So it's like a roadmap. We start with process number 1, identifying current situation. Process number 2, identifying their goal. And third, identifying the strategy to meet their life goal. So this is a case study for a husband and wife, late 30s with 2 kids. So we start with first, current situation. So we have some software and also some of the spreadsheet to help them to map out their expenses. Where does their expenses, how did they spend their money, onto what category they spend their money. As you can see that their saving is roughly about 8% only. Okay, and these are the other side where we help them to analyze their balance sheet. What are the assets they're currently having and what type of liabilities they're having and what is their net worth as a couple. So this couple here, late 30s, they have already more than 1 million net asset. It's quite good comparing to other Malaysian. However, I'll share with you, then after we know their net worth, after we know their expenses, right, then the next step is that we need to fix the goal. And we fact find with them, and we need to understand what they really want in life. And they told us that they want to retire at age 60 with 120,000 a year to spend. And they have 2 kids, remember? So they want 2 of their kids to go to local university or private university. They need to stand by at least 200,000 for the kids' education. So we then, using the goal, we help them to map out their expenses. We need to project the expenses as well from all these. So the blue color here is their expenses ongoing until age 60 while they are still working. And this purple color here are their expenses after they retire, means that they have no longer any income coming in. So these are their projection of the expenses of 120,000 based on their current lifestyle. And these 2 are the kids' education fund, because by that time, their kids are going into university, so they need to spend that kind of money. After having these 2, right, existing information and their goal, so we are now able to identify the gap in between. So we want to answer, is their current assets actually enough to fund the goals? And surprisingly, the 1 million plus are not actually adequate. And you can see their saving keep on increasing because they are working. But once they retire at age 60, their cash and assets start to deplete very, very fast. And it finished off 9 years after they retiring. So there is a shortfall of 1.6 million based on their current net asset value. So after knowing the fact, right, so we are now starting to look at what are the strategies we can help them to meet their goal. First of all, of course, no magic here. We still need to go back to how to increase their cash flow and saving. This is the reason why we need to understand the current situation and where they spend their money. So we need to help them to find more money to save. So we have reviewed their insurance premium here. These are all advisory. We are not selling insurance. We are advisory. So we are reviewing all their insurance premium and do a comparison and find out that some of the premium they can reduce. So we help them, and some of the policy we help them also to surrender. It can save them 30,000 a year premium on the insurance. And also they are currently doing this having one property where are not able to be rented out. So they are keep bleeding money because they need to pay the installment. So they are we recommend them to sell one of the non-performing property at a bad area, and then it saves them 13,000 installment a year. And lastly, we also recommend one of the vehicle to pay off, and after using their excess cash to pay off the loan, because we saw the interest is not cheap. So we recommend them to pay off one of the loan, and in actual fact, they save about 7,800 a year. And in total, they have saved 50,000 a year after this exercise. And this exercise normally can be done with third party, because if you are able to save yourself, you have already been able to do it long time, right? So even for myself, right, I'm also engaging some other consultant to look at the plan. And second, when they have more money, right, the thing how we help them to achieve their goal is to revise their investment strategy. Previously, they thought that they had a lot of net worth, they have 1 million net asset, so they are saving, they are quite conservative. They save most of the money in investing. So we help them to restructure their own investment strategy because they have so they can save their entire investment with no time and also no skill. Recommending them something benchmark against 6%. So this is how we help them. And at the end, we able to increase their investment return, not really increase because previously they are not really investing too much. They have a bit of stock portfolio. We increase their overall from 2% to 6%. And now we have helped them to save more money, right? So we need to help them also to identify where to put in the money. So some of them will transfer from the fixed deposit, some of them will transfer from the share account or whatsoever, because they really don't have time to monitor the shares. So is it a right way and putting their money into some not right investment vehicle? So we help them to generate more return with more saving. So after that, we met again after the strategy. So this on paper, of course, we have helped them to close the shortfall of 1.6 million, and the money actually finishes 30 years after the retirement. But of course, if they want to have a higher goal, right, it needs to be revisited again. So conclusion, the whole planning has actually helped them to aware that the 1 million net asset can only last them for 9 years. They were very shocked when they see this chart here, but mathematics won't lie, calculation won't lie to you as well. Because of that, they are willing to take more risk, because they know that if they keep doing something similar, they can't reach their goal. So they have decided to actually take out some of their fixed deposit to invest. So they are able to make timely investment decision, and are able to retire and accumulate 200,000 for their kids. So we, apart from all these, we are also doing family advisory model. This is for our high net worth client, where they have really no time to do anything. So we are doing the financial data like what we did, like the net worth and the cash flow, because this is a starting point where we can map out the strategies. And apart from that, we are also doing like family asset protection, business succession planning, because it's all under one roof. We will channel everything into a family trust, and we have a team to monitor that. So beyond this is really beyond financial planning, because they have much more things to be worried about. Okay, we also have a strategy team, we have a governance team, and we have advisory team to handle different things. And we have also Labuan Foundation thing to channel their offshore investment. Okay, so why this is so important? Because when there is no financial planning, one cannot save. This is the majority of the Malaysian problem. Why they cannot save is because they cannot see the importance of saving now. They would rather spend it on other things. And when there's no financial planning, there's no priority to spend. When they have money, they think that they can spend this, because they cannot see why I need to save now. So they start to spend on things which are not beneficial. And when there's no financial plan, they cannot invest also. That's the fact. Why? Because first, if they spend away their money, they can't save. So when there's no saving, how can they invest? They can't invest also. So second, if they have able to save a little bit of money, they also do not know where to invest and what to invest, because they have no, they do not know how much yield they need, and they do not know how much actually they need to save in order to reach the goal. Not sure how much to invest, and do not know what to invest in based on their skills, their knowledge, and also their current situation. And lastly, even if they start investing, they cannot invest successfully. Why? Because they didn't have the table to help them to identify what are the return they required. And they are not sure what investing vehicle are actually required to help them to achieve their goal. And lastly, most of them maybe do not do risk management. So they do not have an overall portfolio thing to help them to achieve the goal. So what will all this be resulting into is not saving enough and not able to retire or outlive the retirement saving. And I sum up the 5 secrets is, first is the mindset. We must be willing to change in order to help us to achieve better result. And second, we cannot just save, we must start to invest so that we are not being beaten by the inflation rate. And the third, we must select the right investment tool. And the fourth, we must know how to do the portfolio risk management. And finally, the important one, we must have the overall plan to guide us to the goal that we want. Most Malaysians cannot afford to retire. That was another article again. So there are already many articles showing this. According to EPF, 70% of Malaysians who withdrew their saving at 55 use it up in less than 10 years. And our life expectancy is also steadily increasing to about 75 years. So it is so important for us to build enough saving to last our retirement years. So just final words is, do not underestimate your retirement needs, and else you'll be part of the 70% of the Malaysians who outlive their retirement saving. So now I actually finished my presentation and my sharing. I hope you like it, and I hope that you get something out of it. These are my Facebook and also Telegram. And now we are on a plane. We know that in order to reach our goal, we need to board a plane. Either we are boarding the plane ourselves, or we are standing inside the airport watching others flying. So again, are you willing to take the blue car, or you are willing to take the black car? So the choice is entirely up to you.